to I to C, from I to C to speed.
Right.
Spike.
But he was not confident about dremeling out the holes and things too to make the thing. Oh, there we go. Now I'm over the ocean. It's always a bit shocking when Matt forces full screen on my computer.
You can disable that. That's a zoom setting on your end.
Is it? I thought I had disabled it.
I mean, maybe you did and they flipped it back or something. I mean, wouldn't be the first time I've had Zoom get a little wonky on settings, but yeah, there's a checkbox for it. So.
Oh, and also I had Windows do a major upgrade recently, so a lot of the seems like default settings on apps just disappeared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Or I guess the default settings returned, not the current settings.
It's sort of like a version of the problem I have with my Zoom login, where like sometimes it remembers and sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I think updates are related to that as well.
Yeah, contacts, home, schedule. Close that. Got to be here somewhere. Zoom meeting. I suppose part of it is that I sit so close to a very large monitor, so when it suddenly goes,
you feel like you're flying.
Yeah, I saw you working on that, Matt. That looked interesting. The rollovers.
These things. One of the things I was going to say about this specifically. So this is like the reporting Docker container. I've been thinking since last week, I might kind of like undo this or do this differently because when I do this, it's going to like totally jam up your current upgrade flow that you seem to have gotten pretty comfortable with. And so like, I don't want to disrupt that. And so I was thinking I might actually switch it to like not be the Docker container based and like just have it be the way it is for the foreseeable future. I don't know.
That's fine. That works.
Oh, that's better.
I mean,
yeah, because we have this thing. I think we talked about this last week, but let me see if anyone replied. Like it was like, okay, cool. Yeah, no replies. Docker setup for Beanstalk works really nice, but the Grafana like team doesn't publish Docker containers that are like the totally up-to-date containers that you have been using. So I don't know. I mean, I think I could try to build my own, or we could just say like, let's just let it be the way it is, and you can keep updating the Yum packages like you're used to. And
that's fine. That's fine to me. That's okay.
I think the Docker setup is still useful for like the Ruby apps, but because reporting is like basically Grafana, and Grafana doesn't publish Docker containers for every Git shop. I'm inclined to say like let's just let reporting be the way it is. So
that's fine. That's
cool. Yeah, and that way you can keep updating it the way that you've gotten comfortable with, and we don't have to disrupt any of that. So
okay,
I'll write a note here. I think close this PR out in favor of not Docker. This will let Rob.
Gee, nobody from outside Japan showed up today. I wonder what they're doing.
Yeah. This is a welcome distraction from refreshing the news.
Thing is, I know exactly where I was 4 years ago today.
Where were you?
I was in Odaka with a Belgian TV crew.
Interesting.
And everybody on the production staff, had orders not to say anything because we had work to do, and we were trying to avoid news and not know what was happening. And every once in a while, somebody off in the corner of the parking lot or something, is looking down at their phone. They'd gasp, and we'd all look up and we'd go, "No, sorry, didn't mean to do that."
That's funny. Yeah, I'm trying not to look. I'm going to look, but I'm trying not to look.
Nah, not look. I checked the time. I don't look for at least another 3 hours.
Good, thanks.
Yeah, but
Cool.
we will hear.
And
way
even
later.
then, only peek to make sure it's okay to look.
Do we do one of these looking at the news?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Oh man. Cool. So yeah, I think that's one update on that. I don't have any update on this. I haven't looked at it. But one thing that's been kind of fun is Rob managed to get some of the folks that work on the Grafana map panel, mainly
They get
this
excited.
guy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Andrew.
Andrew?
Andreas.
So yeah, it was kind of cool. Rob commented a bunch and Andreas started moving and merging things. And so I've been committing a little bit. And so on the plus side, we actually have click-throughs now. So like you can click on these and it'll give you a page specific to that device. So
Excellent.
So that's kind of cool. And then the other thing I was playing with, because Rob was asking about it, is maybe adding more metrics to this rollover. I can't gesture to it because it like goes away when I gesture to it. But so rather than just having PM 2.5, the thing that I realized, and Rob, I was mentioning this a little bit in Slack, but just to, now that we're all here on the chat, just to maybe paint a more complete picture. Originally I was like, oh, this will be easy. I'll just add some more points. But the thing is, like, it uses the PM 2.5 to, where's like the size? Like it uses it to determine like the size and the color. Yeah, like all this sort of stuff, and then the color mode. So like this metric, I can't just turn this into like a plural because it needs that one field to determine color and size. So like that one's special. But one of the things that I was noticing that I could do is like you can add metrics here.
Yes,
and then if I do, I'll just do this. And then what happens, it's a little funny on the data side, but I was poking around and basically what happens is it will change like the column names. Like the data all comes through to the plugin as like a table. And so if I add two measurements, I can get the PM back by putting this on there. And then so what I should be able to do is basically just put, maybe just put like a horizontal rule under the text that's there. And then underneath that, put the average LND, basically put like whatever you have in this section as like a list. And so like if you added like 5 different metrics, you would get 5 different little things, 5 different rows in the hover for each of the metrics that you add.
That will be good. No, that's great. That's really functional.
Yeah, and that looked pretty doable. Like it wouldn't be like a major code change. In fact, I don't even have to add any fields because I could just have it pick up on the fact that like, oh, you have more than one measurement. Let me just show you all of your measurements on the thing. So I don't even have to add like a metric fields thing. I can just basically show whatever you have in the query, which I think will keep it pretty simple.
Okay, yeah,
I'm having a hard time bringing up the same screen.
I will send you a link.
There we go.
Yeah, the way you get to it, I edited the map panel. I'll send you, whoops, these are my windows here. So there's a link to specifically the panel that I'm on. But the way that you get to that for any panel is you click this little arrow and then you click edit there. And then you can do the same, like that works across any panel.
I'm not even as far as having that page up yet. Grafana safecast.cc, got it.
Yeah. Oh, and you have to be signed in. So you have to, if you're not signed in already, you'll get like a little arrow thingy.
No, but the thing is, you can see everything, but you cannot modify it.
You can't edit.
Okay, I just got an error that says your connection is not private and it won't show. Cert common name invalid.
That's weird.
You cannot see this one. What Matt has up.
No, I see, because I used grafanasafecast.org instead of CC.
Oh, okay, yeah.
CC, yeah, that will not work.
Okay.
I didn't even realize org was like set up in the DNS.
Well, I'm pretty sure that that's because it's a subdomain, that anything, that they're equivalents. If you're putting on a subdomain, so grafana.safecast, whatever, probably matches all of them.
No, you have to go into Media Temple. So someone must have added it at some point. Yeah, it's an A record. That's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that might even break at some point.
No, but the thing is that I think that Andrew set it up. He modified it.
Interesting.
I would hope
Okay.
that would work because our default TLD is org. So, I mean, that was what I didn't. I guess I didn't think about it. My fingers just knew that .org comes after Safecast.
Yeah. Let me get into Media Temple so I can fix that, because that's not like, it won't work today, and then it might actually just be totally broken eventually. So switch that to not an A record. Oh, that's what it was. He set up the, okay, now I get what you're saying. Andrew set up the star record. That's what it's resolving.
Yes.
And so it's resolving, yeah. So if I put like blah.safecast, that's what's happening.
Yeah. Safecast.com.
It resolves to, yeah. Okay, now I see what's happening.
Okay.
Insecure then.
Not exactly intuitive for troubleshooting if you're not a developer.
Yeah, I wonder, I don't know. Maybe I'll raise that in like the website channel to find out more about why we have that and if we definitely want to keep it or not.
Well, a redirect would be better, or something not just.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, that's easier. So Grafana and then Safecast ORG goes to CC. Yeah.
I have a pink dot over my house.
That's good.
Well,
it's better than a red one.
Well, there's only
probably
one
just
dot. Oh, no, if I zoom in far enough, there's lots of dots. Okay. Whoa, lots and lots of dots.
It depends on your time schedule too. If you change the timing, you can see that when it's done, and it's
Last
all
7
separate.
days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It looks like I've got almost 20 devices at this location.
Because the GPS is a little bit off every time.
I guess I thought we had. That's in Nick's map. What he does is he aggregates everything within a certain radius or within a certain rectangle.
Yeah, Grafana does it based on UID as well as like a geohash aggregate.
Okay.
So,
but if you select the time correct, Joe, you will see that it's if you do the last 5 minutes, you will see the few dots only.
Looking,
or even if you just
that
select
reset
only
the
one
whole page. That reset the whole page to world scale, and now there's nothing in Japan.
Yeah, but you took in time that there's nothing there. So if you make it time,
I'll try 15 minutes. Yeah. Now it's a green circle.
So that's your last measurement, probably.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wouldn't have expected the timescale to reset the map zoom. I wonder if we should raise that with.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either. It was like it suddenly went to.
Yeah, because it's nothing.
This is why I come to the meetings, to be the user, to represent the voice of the dumb user and not the developer.
That's true. You're doing well, Joe.
One of my great talents in software development has always been to break things.
Good.
Click-through works. Click-through comes up, but it comes up with a different time scale. Oh, all right.
Yeah, it always comes up with different time scale.
Looks like my particle sensors were offline for about only about 12 hours. Okay. I wonder why. All the rain, maybe the battery got low again.
That's on the SolarCast?
I'm gonna assume so, but that isn't obvious from anything I'm looking at. I mean, I got here geographically by clicking on the dot that was over my location, but there are 3 active devices here, so I don't know if it's.
You should be able to hover over and see which one's which.
Battery voltage also disappeared. 3743. I don't recognize that number. That must be
what you can do is, Joe, if you go at the bottom, you can see there's an JSON export, and there's the number somewhere in. The number and the device ID. in the text. You can see that.
I'm looking, I'm scanning. It's a lot of small text. LND 7318. That, but all three of them have that.
Yeah.
What am I looking for?
For like a SolarCast Nano or Pointcast, or I don't know what you're looking at.
SafeCast device, SolarCast. Got it. Okay. Yep. 300009.
That's the SolarCast then.
Yep. Okay. So just for grins, how would I find the other two devices in this by this method?
I think there are different ways. I would, if I was using it, I would go from the tracker.
I just would, yeah, but that's not public facing. That's not something somebody who's interested in the readings in their neighborhood would do.
That's true. Yeah.
I just hit back on my browser, and I'm back to 15-minute time scale and whole world or map zoom.
Yeah, I think basically what it is the map zoom resets every time you like do a page refresh, which this ends up triggering a page refresh. Back would trigger a page refresh. So.
And if you, Joe, if you do, for example, 3 hours, 4 hours, because the SolarCast minimum is 4 hours, I think. The maximum.
I got 3 hours or 6 hours. Let's pull 6 hours. That gets me a lot more circles over Japan. Rolling in Ichikawa. There we go. And now I've got 2 circles that I can roll over. Yep, and there's the one of them is looks like one of them is the SolarCast, one is the SolarCast Nano. SolarCast says PM. Wait, that's weird. The SolarCast Nano rollover says SafeCast 40075 blah blah. That's a number, and then null and PM 2.5.
Yes, that's correct. It should do that. But
That means
we should work on
PM 2.5 reading.
I see. The null is the reading, and the PM 2.5 is the units, essentially.
Yes, there's nothing.
Okay.
And maybe we should, if it's a null, we should hide it. But that's another step we can work on.
Yeah. You got to think about blue sky and then narrow down.
Yeah. Blue sky and narrow down. It's a very blue
that
sky.
Looks pretty good. It's got battery voltage, has shown the battery voltage is a pretty good indication of weather.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
How sunny it's been.
Yeah.
How sunny it's been,
yeah.
Okay, let's say you're looking at 2 days. Let's look at 7 days. Oh yeah, up and down every 12 hours.
But if you see Fukushima in 5 hours, 5 years, you see the decline. It's very interesting to see that.
Oh, which one are you looking at? Looking at the one up in
or Iwaki or somewhere in that area. And then if you see
Iwaki,
5 hours,
probably better to look at the ones in Odaka or at
in better.
Futaba or somewhere. Yeah, let's go back. Yeah, I'll play with this after the meeting because this is looking fun. Yeah, those are the ones. $5 years. I put up about 3 years ago, so
this would be a nice test of Elasticsearch being able to return it. Yep, look at that. Yep. Got a nice download.
Not too much time either. It took a few seconds, but it worked.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
Impressive. 5 years of data.
It's funny, you can see it down in Shibuya too. Because it's the same device.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, before we took it up there, right.
Yeah. So these are the readings from Shibuya, and then these are the ones from.
And that way, and actually, the little step right over 2018-01.
Yeah.
Where it's really low. That's going to be down here before we moved it someplace really high.
Let's see where it was.
But this is great for the history for the devices. I mean, this is great to find back.
Well, this is what we really wanted, and what we've had people like in the news media ask us for is, do you have any way to see kind of an overall picture? And I like this display better than our usual one because it's it auto scales, which has its pluses and minuses, but it doesn't seem to have the daily changes in the radiation like you see on the other default view, which has always been kind of disturbing because I think it's a battery effect that's changing the apparent radiation readings. But
yeah, mm-hmm.
But it doesn't show on this one, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's something to do with the way that dashboard works.
Yeah, we're also like in this view, for example, you can kind of like it's auto ranging the time buckets based on how much width it has to work with, basically.
Right.
And so you're seeing,
which is a good thing in this case.
It looks like it's like 2 days per pixel or so. Like it looks like a day. It looks like one. It might be 1 day actually. So whereas like probably some of those wider graphs might be giving you a couple dots per hour or something along those lines. So.
Well, there's been a couple times when people have recommended that I change that sensor because it was obviously failing, but this graph shows it hasn't. Look at that. There's no gaps in the data for like ever since I put it there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The other thing is if there's a graph, if gaps are appearing like on real time or something like that, that could have to do with just the real time query pattern, right? That like in order to even for graphs on real time to even update, they have to get a successful. There we go again. Oh, that's interesting. Let me go ahead and go. Maybe that cert is just old. Yeah, because that's the right. I didn't typo that. I think the cert's just probably wrong. What's wrong with the cert? It's expired. That needs a new cert. Anyway.
I will update
it. Cool. Is it Futaba? What's the name on it?
I think it's actually in Okuma. Or maybe, yeah, Okuma, I think.
Okay, cool. Because for these graphs to generate, it needs to have a successful query to api.safecast.org, which like may or may not hit. Obviously it's a pretty heavy query and we're constantly struggling to like keep it performant.
Right.
So we're probably going to see some dropouts here just from not being able to query, like real time not being able to query api.safecast.org. Whereas this is all like all of the aggregation for this application happens at publish time, right? So like ttserve sends it in ingest splits it out to a couple of different storage locations, and then you're just reading that storage location. Like there's no like after the fact polling going on like there is for this setup.
And also real time just builds the graph every day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true. Yeah, just once per day. Yeah,
once a day. That's it.
Yeah, whereas this is, this can even
this is amazing. I mean, if you think about it, the data behind there, it's impressive.
Yeah. And what are the possibilities in Grafana to be able to like put two sensors on the same page or the same graph?
Oh, that's not that hard to do. We can do that. I mean, specific locations we can haven't just bound them to the location.
Yep. Compared to devices. I was like, someone did that. It's just we need to update this because it's still based on number rather than URN. So it's not like it'll work for devices that have a numeric ID, but we can't assume that all devices for the rest of the time will always have a numeric ID. So
we have to think about it. But this is basically a concept.
Yeah. We should probably switch this to URN, and then we can basically do the same thing where we just have two URNs that compare to each other.
And this is only for radiation.
It would be really good if the device picker could bring up a little map inset so you could pick them geographically.
Yeah, we should work on that.
Well, again, you dream first and then you deal with reality later.
Yeah.
No, but something like what was her name? The Korean person,
Hugh Choi.
She was working on that with the project for Angela.
The guy from I thought you meant from Korea.
No, not the guy, the woman. She made the presentation about that, and you can draw a line about an area, and then it will pick up the sensors for that. Yeah, Jolene.
Yes.
Jolene, that's what it was.
Something like that. That will be great if we have that in there. But that is a longer version, I think. If she could just port it to the plugin, that would be great. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. It's just leaflet. Yes. Huh?
Yep. I mean, this is just leaflet too. So it's like,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Now it pops in a new tab. That'll make it a little easier to pick 2 devices at least. So if you wanted to compare 2, you can find 2. I don't know. I'll just pick this one and this one at random. So you can go back and click a different tab and then kind of compare them this way. So not perfect, but at least it gives you a little bit of a side-by-side action going on.
Right. So, yeah, the biggest problem with that is you look at the CPM counts, and the graph is not useful.
Yeah, they just auto scale. Yeah.
Because
yeah, that's a good point. What would be
look at the number in the top left corner, and if you're gonna just be focusing on the number at the top of the scale, why are you using a graph?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it'd be nicer to be able to overlay 2 devices on the same CPM. Yeah.
Or at least have them, when you compare them like that, to have them use the same scale, have them both scale on the larger one, so that even when you look back and forth, you're seeing which one is bigger. Yeah. Because otherwise it makes Fukushima look just like, Iwaki or Chiba, and
yeah, then switch automatically to the bigger scale. That makes sense.
Yeah. And this is one of the problems we've had. If you look at the real-time chart for the one up in Okuma, it doesn't have any data at all, because we scale all of them the same based on some hand-chosen value, and that one's just completely off scale, because it's just one sensor among the however many we have out. That's the only one that's really off scale. But it's also one that gets a lot of focus because it's the highest in the in the family.
Family.
Yeah, we have family. I like it. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, because you almost have 2 conflicting priorities there. Like, one is you want the scale to be the same, but the other one is you want to make sure if something is off the scale, we still call out the fact that it's off the scale, which I don't know if Grafana
I've said
has
for
anything
years
like
that ideally what we'd have is a feature that I've never seen it in any of the standard tools, where the graph breaks and it has like a jagged line where it shows you this up above it, so you know that this is like a little inset of the, like sticking Hawaii or Alaska on a U.S. map, where it just sort of sticks it in, and you realize there's a big gap in the middle here where you can't see things. But that's not it's a desirable graphic depiction because people recognize it intuitively, but it's not something that's in the standard tools like Grafana.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Even Kibana doesn't have it, as far as I know. So
I think the place it came from was Excel.
But what you can do, maybe you can have two of them, and 2 graphs on top of each other, and then blend them kind of.
Have one dynamic ranging, and
yeah.
That's interesting though. Yeah, like a broken chart axis. It might work. It's probably worth opening as a potential feature request for Grafana or even Kibana at that point.
Yeah, that's their kind of thing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because it'd be handy to say like, okay, here's the fixed scale, but in the event, in the event you have something above the fixed scale, you still want to call that out. So it'd be nice to have something that's like, okay, here's your fixed
so it's not
Y,
invisible because it's just off the charts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whereas as far as I know, both Grafana and Kibana will just limit to like specifically, I was just playing with it here. Like if I set Ymax to like 20, anything that's above 20 is just, you have no visual indication. I mean, I guess you have the fact that it's at least shaded, so you know that like something's up there.
Yeah, but if it happened that everything was above the scale you chose, it doesn't trigger like a non-graph person that that maybe the color, maybe the graph is just this color all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. Yeah, it'd be
some
cool feature.
Some way to indicate that there's more data up there or down there or whatever you've done. So.
All right, I got to roll. I got another meeting to go to. So, but this is fun chatting. Yep. Talk to y'all soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Bye.
Thanks for the good. Okay. Bye. Good. Have a good day.
You too.